Hey, beautiful soul, welcome back to Reset and Rise Midlife, the place where we stop pretending, start healing, and get radically honest about what's going on underneath the surface. I'm your host, Coach Sabrina Woods, and today we're talking about something tender, something transformative, and something that, if you let it, will change the entire way you walk through your life. We're talking about ownership. Not just be positive kind, not the fake it until you make it version. We're talking about the kind that strips that Band-Aid off, that forces you to look in the mirror and ask, am I the one in my own way? Before we dive into what ownership looks like, I want to take a moment to talk about something crucial. Because for many of us, we didn't just pick up bad habits. We were shaped by trauma. And let's be real. Trauma is not just what happened to you. It's what stuck with you, got buried in your nervous system, and it's what still whispers in your ear at night and makes you flinch in safe places. Trauma changes how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. It disconnects us from our bodies, it hijacks our nervous system, and it tells us you're not safe, you can't trust, and you don't deserve peace. And when we carry unprocessed trauma, we start reacting instead of responding. We build walls instead of bridges. We control because we fear collapse. When I got clean, I thought the hard part was over. But the truth, the drugs were gone, but that behavior was still there. I was angry. I was guarded. And I was still a ticking time bomb. Because I had never learned how to feel what I was feeling, I numbed it. I buried it, and I blamed the world. I built a wall around myself, and I called it strength. But inside, I was screaming. And here's the thing that no one talks about enough. Even after the trauma, even with all the pain we did not choose, we still get to choose how we heal. And that's not about blaming ourselves. It's about reclaiming our power. Ownership means saying, I did not choose what broke me, but I do choose to stop breaking myself. That's powerful. That's healing, and that is freedom. So let me ask you this. How many emotions have you stuffed down because they were too much to feel? How often do you say, I'm fine, while rage, grief, or fear is boiling underneath? Listen. Your emotions are not your enemy. They are messengers. And when we ignore them, they don't disappear, they detonate. Owning your part means saying, I am angry and I won't run from it. I am scared, but I will sit with it. I am grieving and I will honor it. That's courage. That's ownership. Let me say this loud and clear. Taking ownership doesn't mean doing it all alone. In fact, real ownership says, I deserve help, I need support, and I will no longer suffer in silence. Whether it's a therapist, a coach, a recovery group, or a safe friend. Owning your healing means owning the decision to reach out and let someone in. That's not weakness. That is wisdom. I remember when I first entered recovery, I wanted help, but I was afraid to admit my downfalls. You see, I sat in front of my therapist week after week, and I told her I had nothing to work on. Everything was fine. When inside, I was dying, and she knew it and I knew it, but I was not ready to take ownership of my healing. Let's talk about some of the stories we tell ourselves. I am too broken. I always mess things up. This is just who I am. Those stories, they were written in trauma, but you are the author now. You get to revise. You get to say, yes, that happened, but this is not my whole story. I fell, but I am learning to stand. I am learning to rise above it. Ownership means picking up that pen again, rewriting your truth, and refusing to let pain be the period to your sentence. And this one's big because ownership is not about self-blame. It's not about guilt. It is about grace. You will mess up. You will revert. And you will have days where your healing feels like hell. But when you own your part, you also own your humanity. You get to say, I am still learning, I am still growing, and I will love myself through it. It takes patience. It takes being gentle. So be proud of the fact that you're doing the hard work. I've worked with women who turn their darkest nights into light for others. Women who took heartbreak and turned it into art, into advocacy, into healing spaces. And I am one of them. This podcast, my purpose, but the fuel behind it is pain. Excuse me. Instead of staying stuck in the pain, I choose to alchemize it. You can too. You are not just what happened to you. You are what you choose to create next. When you start taking ownership, you stop waiting. You stop shrinking, and you stop handing your power to people who don't deserve to hold it. You are building resilience. You are developing grit. You stop being a victim of your past and you start being the author of your future. So each episode, we talk about affirmations and incantations. I would like for you to take a second and repeat these incantations with me, but say them like you mean them. Use your fighting stance. Push your chest out. Swing your arms and roar when you say them. Our nervous system needs to believe it too. So when we use our body, we will believe. 1, I am not what hurt me, and I am what I choose to heal. 2, my power is not in my past. It is in my presence. 3, I own my patterns and I break them with grace. 4, I am not behind. I am right on time for my transformation. And last but not least, I am my own rescue. I am my own redemption. Now here comes the part where I give you a little bit of homework to do on your own. I would like you to start with this journaling prompt. Get a pen, Get your note app, whatever you use to write. Powerful question here. I want you to start with this sentence. The way I've been getting in my own way is, and finish it with honesty. I want you to look at every situation that you've been through, and I want you to write out how you are standing in your own way. Is it fear? Is it a wall that you built? Is it self-doubt? Is it limited beliefs? Name it. Take ownership of it. Now, when you're finished that journaling prompt, I'm going to take it a little bit deeper for us, okay? I want you to ask, what emotions have I been avoiding? Be honest. The next one I want you to ask yourself is, what's the story that I've been telling myself about my pain? Be honest. Another one I would like you to ask yourself is, who or what am I waiting on to fix me? You see, I've always, when I was out there in my addiction and I was homeless and I was running the street and I was in and out of jail and I was detoxing every other week, I didn't answer this, and I didn't even know I needed to ask myself this question. But when I asked myself that question, I realized that I was waiting on everyone else to come save me, and I never took initiative or took ownership of my own life, my own healing. Today is that day for you, ladies. Who or what are you waiting on to fix you? I would like to take you into another exercise. I want you to get a piece of paper. I want you to draw a line down the middle of the paper so you have 2 columns. On the left column, you're going to put column A, and you're going to put the excuses I've been making. On column B, I want you to write actions I can take today. The key word, actions you can take today. Because if I know how hard it is in the moment, we have all these grand ideas of these actions that we're going to take, but we don't do it today, and tomorrow never comes. So what action can you take today? And finally, this is very important. This next exercise is very important. We need to build in self-compassion. When I started this, I didn't know anything about self-compassion. I didn't talk to myself nicely. I didn't say things to myself nicely to others. I always doubted me. I want you to choose one small act of self-compassion. Write out what that act of self-compassion looks like for you. And I want you to take a look at your schedule. If you're like me, you have to schedule every hour up to every minute of your day. Schedule in active self-compassion and do it. Do something kind for yourself. We have to learn to be gentle with us through this process. If we hear us talking bad about ourselves to ourselves, reframe those negative thoughts. I'll do another podcast episode on how to do that. Self-compassion is everything when it comes to our healing. I want you to know that this work isn't easy, and it's not always pretty, but it's powerful. You're not just surviving, you're rewriting your narrative, you're reclaiming ownership. And remember, ownership is not a destination. It's a daily decision to rise. Rise above the fear. Rise above the pain, even if it's hard. So rise. Even if it's shaky. Even if you're crying while you're doing it. Even if it's in a quiet moment. Rise anyway. If you're ready to go a little bit deeper and to start owning your healing in a way that changes everything, I invite you to connect with me. You can book a one-on-one insight session. You can join the Passion and Purpose Midlife Coaching Program. It's a 4-month program designed to help women like you take back our power. This is not a journey that's meant to be done alone. We all need support. You were born to reset. You were born to rise. And I'm right here with you. I see you, I love you, and I believe in you. So until the next episode, remember, keep owning your truth.